We're here at John Deere's world headquarters in Moline, Illinois to discuss some of our proposed topics about John Deere. The John Deere Company was formed in 1837 when Deere himself discovered that sticky soil in the Midwest made plowing in the Midwest difficult. He then found an old steel saw blade and created a plow that pushed away dirt as it furrowed. The Deere Company had been born. Currently, Deere employs about 52,000 people worldwide. It is among the lead manufacturers in construction and agriculture equipment. For 175 years, Deere has provided customers with quality equipment.
John Deere's Construction and Forestry Division was created in the mid-1950s. With most of its equipment coming from factories in Dubuque and Davenport, Iowa, John Deere distributes this equipment to more than 600 dealers worldwide. The Dubuque Works manufactures equipment like crawler loaders, skid steers, and backhoe loaders, while the Davenport Works produce articulated dump trucks, motor graders, and four-wheel drive loaders and log skidders.
Our proposition is Does and Bucks, an amusement park allowing the general public to experience the luxury of using John Deere construction and forestry equipment. An average citizen would be able to safely operate John Deere equipment.
Does and Bucks would allow people of all ages to learn more about Deere & Company, especially their construction and forestry division. Not many people have driven anything made by John Deere, but by implementing Does and Bucks, it would give the general public a privilege to operate on John Deere construction equipment. With the lack of amusement parks in the Midwest, John Deere would have little competition in Iowa, especially around the proposed park location. The addition of Does and Bucks would also be a one-of-a-kind attraction for the entire U.S.
One of the unique concepts of Does and Bucks is that all forms of entertainment would have something to do with John Deere construction equipment. Whether it is our skid steer soccer or dump truck tram, everything has to do with John Deere construction equipment. Another thing is that all forms of entertainment would be suitable for all ages, even adults. These concepts would distinct us from average amusement parks, and these distinctions would be able to attract more people as well as show off the John Deere construction equipment to the general public. Does and Bucks' main attraction would be the up and down bucket go round. This ride, powered by a John Deere excavator, would put riders in seats shaped like excavator buckets that would move up and down as the buckets went off small yet steep ramps.
You may wonder where our crazy wacky idea came from, but believe it or not, our inspiration came from one of John Deere's competitors, JCB.
JCB is a construction equipment manufacturer based out of Rochester, United Kingdom, who is the world's third largest construction manufacturer. JCB's equipment is exclusively featured at 4 amusement parks spread out through England. These amusement parks, called Diggerland, allow adults and children of all ages to experience what it feels like to control and ride in construction equipment. What Diggerland is currently doing would be the goal and purpose of Does and Bucks, to allow people of all ages from the general public to operate John Deere construction equipment.
In terms of sales, how successful would a concept like this be?
I firmly believe this concept will be very successful. First of all, simply because of the geography of the Quad Cities. Within a 300-mile radius of the Quad Cities, there are 36.5 million people. The Quad Cities actually is the largest 300-mile market west of Chicago. I mean, there are literally just a ton of people to draw from. Quite frankly, a 5 to 6 hour drive away from here. So, I mean, it makes sense to put something like this in our area just for the simple fact that, there are a lot of people to draw from. Also, you have to look at your competition. Now, if I'm not mistaken, amusement parks in and around the Midwest, you would have Six Flags in suburban Chicago, Six Flags St. Louis, also Adventureland in Des Moines. Really, those form a triangle. Quad Cities would be right in the middle. So, it's an ideal location for something like this. I think the concept itself would do very well.
Who would you believe to be our target audience?
Your target audience, first and foremost, will be families. Now, by families, in the TV business, we break things up into age demographics. The adults 25-54 is a very common target demographic. The 25-year-old part of it might be slightly on the young side. You're really looking at families old enough to have kids, be they toddlers up through their teenage years. Not to mention the fact your advertising should probably skew a little bit towards a female target, just for the simple fact it's a rather common assertion that mom is, making the plans, so to speak, for, the family's weekend getaways and stuff like that. So broadcast TV would be an excellent choice, just for the simple fact that your product is very visual. There's a sight, sound, motion, and emotion going on in your amusement venue, of which broadcast TV is a perfect complement to that.
Tell us about the advertising approach you've taken with similar clients.
Now, it's all about the fun factor. Promotions come into play. I mean, sure, you can run, TV commercials, and they'll do a job. They'll reach a lot of people. They will put, bodies into your park. But getting people excited through even simple promotions, ticket giveaways during the morning newscast, or I know Fox 18 has a Facebook Friday freebie where they give away passes to various concerts or spectator venues, things like that. Not to mention the fact, playing into the heritage and marketing footprint that John Deere has already laid here in the Quad Cities. I mean, I would suggest tying in with the John Deere Golf Classic, some sort of a stay-and-play type of campaign, because, thousands of people come into town for the Golf Classic, and they're obviously potential customers for your amusement park as well.
What do you see as some of the positive elements of our park?
Anything that gets a family unit to spend some time together has got to be a good thing. Also, from your plans, I've noticed this isn't, a traditional, concession stand, wait in line for a ride type of amusement park. I mean, you have some areas here where kids and adults exert physical activity. Which is great. I mean, just that simple exercise that people get, be it from your skid steer soccer or the playground or the excavation area. I mean, that's good. That's a good thing. I mean, it's very nice to see, some physical activity taking place.
Where would we put Dozen Bucks?
This approximate 40-acre farmland would easily hold Dozen Bucks. This 40-acre farmland is currently owned by John Deere. This stretch of land is ideal for an attraction like this because it is located just west of the Davenport Works. It is right off Highway 61 in Eldridge, Iowa. The location of our park would allow for construction equipment to be easily transported from the Davenport Works to Dozen Bucks.
John Deere equipment would definitely be ideal for Dozen Bucks because, for one reason, John Deere's headquarters is only 17 miles away from the amusement park. Also, John Deere equipment has muscle like no other.
Take the 210G LC excavator. We believe this excavator to be ideal for our up and down bucket go round. The mass of the excavator is 22,910 kilograms. In 100 meters, the excavator will generate 22,451,800 joules of work. Work is found by multiplying force by a distance. The force is found by multiplying the mass of the excavator times gravity, which is 9.8 meters per second, then multiplying the distance of 100 meters. This means over a time period of 10 seconds, the 210G LC is able to generate 2,245,180 watts of power. The arm of the excavator is able to swing at a speed of 13.3 revolutions per minute. The cab acts as a wheel in the wheel and axle simple machine. As the operator of the excavator rotates the axle, the cab above also rotates. The arm and bucket act as a first-class lever, as its fulcrum or hinge in the arm is located between the input force and output force. Thanks for watching, and remember, nothing runs like a deer.